we got the overpopulating and overduplicating of psychopaths in this show. I know better than to deal with a woman like her. I stay away from the gold and geriatric cooches out there. No, sir. I want nothing to do with them.
You? And the deaf dyke, she was like,
he was a threat. He been following up. What you mean he was a threat? We don't. Back with another one, and we got a new episode here. Fresh off the presses. All right, we got a new episode here to Shy. I think it's season 6, episode 15. It's called Terror Tower. All right. And there's a lot we can talk about with this episode here. We could talk about, one thing I thought would have been interesting to talk about is just something interesting that stood out to me. And that was this exchange that was between the preacher and his wife. Okay, with his preacher and wife were arguing about their little pre-arrangement they had, basically a fake marriage. And it just, to me, that stood out because I know a lot of people look at them and they live a certain lifestyle and they look like they got it going on. They all got it going on the outside, like they living real good. But this is just a good example of a lot of relationships and just a lot of people out there. They're nobody to envy because people really don't have it going on like they try to portray themselves like they do. People really be really effed up on it. You just looking on the outside, but what they life really look like on the inside is really effed up. And I just thought this was a good example of that. And I just thought that'll be something nice to talk about. I could talk about that a little bit. When it comes to Bakari, I never, somebody help me out in the comments. Help me understand what's the big deal about Bakari writing this book. Why does Dula care so much? All Bakari got to do is just change the names in the book to protect the innocent. And it wouldn't be a big deal. It don't matter what he write about. He just change everybody's name. Don't put anybody's real name in there. That's all he got to do. And I could talk, but I'm not going to talk about that. I could talk about, the Amon Shumpert character, whatever his name, Alice's son, Amon Shumpert. It's fun, whoever the writers are, I guess they did a homage to the classic Thanksgiving Cosby show episode where Bill Cosby, they kept sending him back to the grocery store. Did anybody catch that? How they kept sending Amon Shumpert back to the grocery store like they did Bill Cosby the whole day for Thanksgiving. The women kept forgetting things. And he kept forgetting things. They had to keep sending him back to the grocery store. And he finally come in at the end of the episode drenching wet. That was a nice little touch by the writers, what they did with Amon Shumpert's character, But I'm not really going to talk about that, If anything I'm going to talk about is, if there's anything I'm going to talk about, is the most important thing in this episode, folks. And that is, we got the overpopulating and overduplicating of psychopaths in this show. Okay? And I got the two main psychopaths here. Really, one is definitely a psychopath in Dula. And you got a halfway psychopath. She like 1/4 or maybe a half bit of a psychopath. Because I guess, they don't make this Miss Alice here with the golden with the golden prehistoric cooch. She got old boy whipped. Old boy that she gave the shaft jacket to. She gave her ex-husband shaft jacket to him. She got him whipped, She got that golden it's a combination she got. She got hella game, and she got a geriatric cooch for the ages that'll whip any man into shape. I know better than to deal with a woman like her. I stay away from the gold and geriatric cooches out there. No, sir. I want nothing to do with them because they'll have you doing anything. Did you see him last episode when he came in there and put that gun out on Gula and said, and I guess the jacket, it got some kind of shaft energy because the jacket took over and he said, get away from him. He pulled that gun out on Dula and said, get away from my woman, sucker. He turned into a whole 70s black exploitation character. You step away from my woman, sucker. And he walked back out of there real slow with his gun. You know who I'm talking about. Her bodyguard for Miss Alice. But anyway, we got enough psychopaths on this show. Dula is one psychopath. I mean, ain't he crazy? When he beat up his right-hand man, when he found out his right-hand man, yeah, he had a side deal and Dula pistol whipped the hell out of him. He said, square up, buddy. He said, square up, young blood, and he beat the hell out of him, just like Dula do. Then he turned around, and the same beating he gave to the to this right-hand man for betraying him, he gave a beating to the backside of his mistress. Wasn't it? He was tearing her up, wasn't it? Viciously. Even she was looking at him like, man, you all right? You know? And, he put his belt back on. Yeah, I'm high. Just like Dula do. That's a psychopath, Dula. And he is enough. And Miss Alice, she got a little bit of enough psychopath to him. But we got a new psychopath this episode, folks. We got a new one. And I don't know her name. I just know she is, she's dumb. Lala Anthony, she's dumb cousin that work in the kitchen. And I don't know her name, so I just call her DD for Deaf Dyke. That's what I call her. She the Deaf Dyke. She dating Candy character, which is Roselyn Perry's wife. She showed us she had a psychopath moment. And I mean, for all as I know, she just one of these little characters, just like Candy, the brat, and the DD girl, the Deaf Dyke. They just these little side characters. They really don't have nothing to do with the main storyline. But if she gonna be a side character, she need to leave that psychopath stuff alone. Because did you see what she did when her and Candy were walking out to the car? Roselyn Perry, forgive me. Let me call her character's name. Her and Roselyn Perry wife, they just walking to the car, doing their little lesbian date thing, it was nice and calm. Then the next thing you know, she pull a gun out of it, pow, pow! Like that. She just pull a gun out and start busting on a dude across the street. This dude, she talking about, she gonna take Candy like, what the F, man? And then Candy was like, hey, what the hell wrong with you? And the Deaf Dyke, she was like, he was a threat. He been following up. What you mean he was a threat? We don't even know. I can't wait to see next week. Was this guy really a threat? Because this guy, go back and look at the scene. This guy just said, burp, burp. He was walking to his truck, and the next thing you know, a Deaf Dyke, pop, 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 stop out of nowhere. She just started busting on dude. Straight up psychopath. Straight up. Come on, man. Come on, guys. That we got to keep the balance for the show now. We can't have I consider Miss Alicia a 0.5, a half a psychopath. So we can't have 1.5 psychopaths is the limit for the show. And one of these characters gonna have to go. They probably gonna get rid of Dula. But you only need one psychopath for every show. So we can't have a 2.5 psychopath ratio in this show. We can't have Dula, Miss Alicia half psychopath, and a one full-fledged Deaf Dyke psychopath coming out of nowhere, busting on innocent pedestrians in the street. She could have shot anybody. Come on, man. We can't have it. And that is my biggest concern from Season 6, episode 15. We'll see what happened next week. Now, going into predictions, I mean, we kind of know what's happening here, and we just going to see things continue to unfold. I mean, the Chi, hey, that's the thing about the Chi. The Chi got so much going on, so many things happening. I mean, I can't name all the stuff going on. But the main storyline we had a scare at the end of the episode where supposedly we guess Dula put a car bomb in Emmett's car. And for a second, I thought Emmett wife and his little his kid, his son was blown up, but thank God they didn't get in the car. And they wasn't blown up. So it looks like Dula sent Emmett a message. So we're going to see the aftermath of that. Next week's episode is called Thanksgiving. So we're going to get to see what's going to happen Thanksgiving. Because Thanksgiving, Dula just recruited. He just upgraded old boy to be his second in command. And it sounds like Dula got some psychopath things planned for Thanksgiving. And I can't wait to see it. And we'll see next week. We'll see what happens. Until next time.